Alright, I've had a couple of requests about more details about the kit box, dimensions, and that sort of thing. So here it goes. We didn't have any plans, we just came up with this in our head. Everything was centered around the box purchase. We got 3 rows high. Each one is 12 feet or 12 inches with about a foot underneath. So it's 4 feet total inside the kit box. The wood we used for these is 3/4 inch. We use 6 inches for the verticals and 4 inches for the horizontals. That way, give a gap in the front and the back, just so birds couldn't really peek around as much. This doesn't really matter. Feeders are built in underneath. We just use, you know, simple wood you'd use for any feeder. The little stripping wood they use for furniture crates. These dowels are a little skinny, get thicker ones. As you can see, I broke one of those back there, but that's all right. Floor, half inch hardware cloth. Most people use 1 inch, 1x1. That works fine. The birds can walk on that. I recommend actually the half inch, just one direction closet stuff, laundry room closet shelves. They sell it in 6 foot by 20 inch lengths for like 20 bucks. It's a little more expensive, but it has no bounce to it. It's just solid and real nice, and it's coated. So, but that's pretty much it. Lots of people also they do the 3 on the walls and then just 2 on the back. When you do 3 on the walls and 2 on the back, you get 24 in here. I got 21 in here. I only really cared to get 20, so that wasn't really a thing for me. These ones in the back are about 13 inches wide. As you can tell, there's plenty of room for the bird and a lot more. I could have easily made these shorter and fitted a lot more birds. If you put V perches in here, you could probably fit 35 birds. The waterer down here, I'll show you a little bit more in the back, but it's a little giant chicken waterer. Really, I don't know why I got this. I suppose because I saw a couple pigeon people with them, but they make proper pigeon waters that are automatic, which would be a lot better choice. We put a little light up top for night feeding, which is nice. We've only really used it once or twice. But that's pretty much the inside. We made the whole thing 8 feet long. We got the bobs. We bought the bobs and crossbar and just made our own frame. We got this door here. We always leave this open. This is for, you know, if it rains, we can shut it, whatnot. Underneath, I got these already disconnected, but we got the trays down here for the poop. I got each side only at half capacity, so I've only cleaned like once in 3 months, and at full capacity, you probably clean like once every 2 months. Coming around the back, we got the feeders here. We put these just on a regular hinge and bolt and barrel with the intention of leaving these open all the time, but we have so many songbirds that we always keep it shut. So I'd recommend using the self-closing, the spring hinges. That way you can just pull it and dump your feed in real quick and have it easy. Come on, boy. Water pipe here, that's hardwired in. And then, yeah, I should have made this opening a lot bigger. I made it way too tight, but we'll see if I can mod it once I get some birds out of here, because I want to change the water out. We'll see though. The feeders here, we put a little thing in for grit, but my hens get so much grit that I just dumped it in the bottom. So that's really not necessary. It's up to you, I guess, how neat you want it to be. We put it about, go on dogs, I think it's like 14 inches, 12 to 14 inches off the ground, the legs. Lots of people just do it with the poop tray right up at the bottom. We put it down just to let air through, and the only reason why we put a skirt around it was just to keep the dogs from eating the poop, because they really like to eat it. It's probably good for them, but whatever. The roof we just made flat. Just put some roof rolling, whatever it's called, on. That's really it. Outside we use 3/4 inch plywood, which is ridiculously thick and really not necessary. I'd recommend using something else, 1/2 inch or whatever. Inside we did 1/4 inch wood, and we put the box perchers on the back wall and put it all in at once, because it was kind of tricky getting everything in there like that. As you probably already saw, the water has a little ledge over it to keep poop out. Yeah, if you get a proper pigeon water, you don't have to worry about that as much. And then one more thing with the door. We put this little door in. Oh, if I can open it. We put that in so we could duck in without the birds getting out. As you saw, I already got one that popped out on us. I hardly ever use it though. And we also did this door. We made it so it opens up to box perch so the birds can just fly out. I see so many kit boxes where the birds have just one tiny end. A roller guy, Bob, down the street, he did his like this, except he divided his door in half with the hinge there, so it, you know, like an accordion door. So that works just as well, I suppose. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? I think that's really pretty much it.
We have support and yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I want to use 2x4s for this. We built this so heavy that we had to take wood off to move this in place. So I would use 2x3s or even 2x2s.
Like 2x4 in the middle.
We use just this thing's. I mean, it's gonna last forever, but it really was a little excessive. Now that looking back, let me let these birds out. Go on, go. And then let me show them the settling cage too. I built this very cheap cage that we just put on top for young birds, and you know, that way they can get trained. Real simple, real cheap. Probably gonna fall apart, but that's that. And yeah, I think that's about it. Well, yeah, like I said, we're at half capacity per side, and cleaning, most of the poop falls through the 1/2 inch. Some will get stuck, as you see, but most falls through. But I would definitely recommend either the inch by inch or the just one-way 1/2 inch coated stuff, preferably the coated. But that's it, thanks. Hey, I'm back. I wanted to mention a couple things that I forgot. Like I said, we used 3/4 inch plywood on the outside, but we did a crap job with it because I didn't seal up the ends. And you know, I figured it's Arizona, it rains like 5 days a year. But sure enough, the first rain, all this wood swells. I didn't make any of my gaps big enough, so everything had to get sanded afterwards and stuff. Some of the things are still tight and still swells when it rains because I never really cared to adjust it. But yeah, the roof, I want to just roll straight down. I'd put some roof drip line on it and probably hang it off a little bit. We did it flat because, well, that's how our house is, and you know, hacienda style. But I would do that differently. Like you can see, I put caulking to seal it, but the water just penetrated all that. I mean, it still works fine, and it's not a big deal because this can easily be, you know, taken off and replaced, but it works for now and should work for a while. But that's something I would do different. And about the water works fine. The only problem with these chicken ones is they're gravity fed. Well, they're gravity. They work on gravity. You have to have it floating. You can see the little water coming out there. Once it gets lower enough, when it gets light enough, or I guess once it raises enough, the water comes out. The water has worked fine. We've had it running since October, had no problems whatsoever. The only problems we had was when we first installed it, we did, the valve was loose in it, so it was leaking. But once we tightened that, everything's been fine, no problems. It's starting to get some mineral buildup, so I need to soak it in like CFL. But I actually got another one of these that I'm not even using now. But since you got to have it gravity fed, you got to have it mounted. You know, you got to have it solid. Once you get if you get the proper Pigeon one, you can just use a washer and dryer hose, so you don't have to do all crazy plumbing work and a bunch of crap in here. As you can tell, I didn't plan properly for this, so I had to come in and hack this up afterwards, but that doesn't matter because you can't see it, except for right then. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me show you what I would recommend for the walls and the floor, because this is the wood. This is like T111. It comes primed and sealed, so you just paint it. It's got the little fake wood. It's cheap cardboard wood, but the sealing makes it good. I'm not even done with this thing. This is for Samson and Samantha. I don't know where they went. They're up on the roof or something. But this is the floor I was talking about too. It's 1/2 inch, coated. It's good stuff. The only problem with it is it runs one direction. I'd rather have this stuff running the other way since that's mainly the way, or this loft is orientated at least, but that's it.